of while loop. Here you can see this is the portion of the same program. You can see here, suppose when we are executing this program where value of x, suppose user is going to enter this value 1. First time user is enter 1. So first time user is enter value of x is 1. So you can see here this condition is satisfied. So condition is satisfied, so remaining statement body of the loop will be executed and the addition will be performed. Then again using this scanf statement, user is going to enter another value, and second time user is enter 3. So again the condition is satisfied, so it will print this result, summation of these two numbers 3 and 1, and some variable is now having 4. Then again this statement is executed. Now user is enter 23. Then this again the condition is satisfied because 23 is different from 999. So the addition will be performed, 23 plus 4, and the value of sum is becomes 27. Okay, then again this statement is executed. So in this case, in this time user is enter 999. After this entering this 999 value, the condition is not satisfied because it is not different from this, so it is coming outside of the loop and it will print sum. So this is how while loop is executed now. And you can see how we can control our loop using sentinel control method. This is output of our program. Now let us going to discuss various things about loop. Here you can see in this while this is the same statements of while loop. In the first portion, body is not means curly bracket is not specified because I want to only write down one sentence, means I want to execute only one sentence, so I have not used curly bracket. If you want to write down more than one sentence, in that case bracket is necessary, and that curly bracket is specifying the body of this loop. Now this is a common mistakes that many students are frequently doing these mistakes, and they are getting the error message like this. Here you can see in this I is initialized by 1, and while I is less than 10, this condition is repeated for 10 times. But here you can see the incrementation, updation of counter is not mentioned by the programmer or students. So this loop will repeated for infinite times. Value of I is not updated, so this condition is never becomes false, and this loop will be repeated for infinite times. Now this is another example of infinite loop. Here you can see in this example, while I is less than or equal to 32767, we want to execute this body of this loop. Now in this body we are printing value of I, and we are incrementing the value of I by 1 using I equal to I plus 1 statement. Now this this statement will be executed up to 32767 times, and after that it will be going to increase the value of variable I by 32768, but it is outside of the boundary of this integer data type. We are knowing that the range of data type is minus 32768 to 32767. This is the range of this data type integer. And so in this case, when the value of I will become 32767, it is rather than moving on 32768, it will becomes negative value of 32768. So this condition is again never becomes false, and again this loop will be repeat for infinite times. Now This is also another example of infinite loop. Here at the end of while statement, by mistake programmer will make semicolon. Now in this case, when the programmer is specifying semicolon at the end of this while statement, this will be considered as this. You can see here, means compiler will understand that while statement without body. Okay, and when the compiler will understand this while statement without body, it is not getting any kind of this counter variable for means it is not getting the incrementation or decrementation of variable I. So this loop is again moves in infinite times. This loop will be repeated for infinite times, and this block printf and printf statement and incrementation of I, that will be not considered in the body of this while, because by mistake we have written the semicolon at the end of this while statement. So this is again a mistake, and this loop will be turns into infinite loop. Now this is our another case in which you can see here we can use instead of I equal to I plus 1, we can use this different variable I plus plus. We can also use this different variable like I equal to I plus or equal to 1. This is various variable we can use instead of I equal to I plus 1. We can use I plus or equal to 1, I minus or equal to 1. This kind of different variable we can use in increment or decrement. Now we can also use this method for we can also use this method for specifying a for loop where counter is mentioned in the body of this loop. Now you can see here we can also use this method. We can also use for loop in this way. Here in the last portion at the time of incrementation, we have write down the printf statement, means it will print the value of I and it will be incremented. In the second portion we are taking the input from the user, and then we are in the second part we are taking the inputs, means value of initialization will be performed by the value which is entered by the user, and for that period of time the loop will be repeated. Now this is also possible, we can avoid this both the portion initialization and incrementation, that can be done like this. Now nesting of loops, we can like if statement we can nesting loop in this method. You can see here we can write down for loop inside for. We can also write down while loop inside another while loop, and we can also combine for loop and while loop, means once we can write down for inside while and while inside for inside do while inside for. That is also possible, like this example. And this is how output of this statement. Now break statement. Break is generally used to terminate the loop immediately, means in certain times and specific time we want to terminate the loop. Here in this example you can see here when the value of j is becomes 150, we want to terminate the loop. So we can use this break statement. Break will immediately terminate the loop, and it is send the execution outside of the loop. Okay, when the value of j will becomes 150, it will terminate this loop and send remaining statement of the loop is not executed, and it is coming outside of the loop. Now this is how we can use a break statement. Next is a continue statement. Continue statement is generally used for sending our control to the back and beginning of the loop, means we do not want to execute remaining statements of the loop, and we want to directly move execution of our loop to the beginning of the loop. Now let us understand with the example. Here you can see when the value of I and j is becomes same, we want to execute we want to perform beginning. Now here you can see when the continue will occur, it is not going to execute remaining statement, and it is continue with next increment. Here loop will not terminate, but it will continue with next increment. This is end of my session. Thank you.